As COVID numbers continue to drop, and with all the right safety precautions in place, our Fresno State seniors officially get to look forward to graduating here at the St. Mart Center in May. For a lot of people that collect vintage, they look at it as more than a hobby, but rather an investment and something that's going to hold its value over the next couple of years. All types of animals can help with mental health. I know this little guy has gotten me through a lot of hardships. Without our crew, we wouldn't be able to put together the show that you get to see every week. March is Women's Herstory Month at Fresno State. In honor of this day, we recognize and give thanks to two women who encourage, support, and guide us in the broadcast news industry. Now we're going to see a big jump in temperatures going into the weekend with a 95 on Thursday, tomorrow, a 96 on Friday, and an 82 on Saturday. So it might be time to start bringing out some of those shorts, but don't worry, we will drop back down to 67 on Monday. Despite low vaccination rates for kids between the ages of 5 and 11, COVID cases have been decreasing since the beginning of the new year.
Everything you see in our weekly newscast would not be possible without the hardworking students that operate behind the scenes. Throughout the semester, crew members have gotten to work with different equipment and take on various job roles to get the hands-on experience for their future careers.
Got some good hands-on experience with the cameras, especially in the production booth. I've never done audio before, so that was an interesting transition. Normally, I'm usually much more involved in post-production, so it's actually really nice to do a production.
In the process of putting together a newscast each week, our crew has had to overcome many obstacles that tested their skills and required them to think quickly.
When something either breaks or isn't working, you kind of have to figure it out fast and find multiple ways to put on a show.
While some crew students plan to continue working behind the scenes in the future, some of them are using this experience to become well-rounded in all areas of the media industry.
After I finish here at Fresno State, I do want to pursue my career in radio. I am currently working at Q97.1, but I want to pursue it even more and reach out to other radio stations and work in other stations on being on-air talent.
As graduation is closely approaching, many crew seniors are beginning to make plans and connections that will set them up for success in their future careers. Throughout the last decade, the vintage market is continuing to grow and make a comeback. There is a high demand for vintage clothing as fashion trends continue to recycle over time. Many thrift and vintage businesses have opportunities where you can earn money for bringing in your used clothing. This is known as consignment.
When we do sell an item, it goes onto that person's account and they receive 40% of what we actually sell it at.
The growing business of thrifted and vintage clothing stems from trends of the past that have now become trends of the present. It's also a response to fast fashion and the lack of sustainability in that industry.
For a lot of people that collect vintage, they look at it as more than a hobby, but rather an investment and something that's going to hold its value over the next couple of years.
Finding unique clothing pieces in a thrift store is cheaper and can save you a lot of money. You could also earn a profit from reselling those items on websites like Depop.
Most of the time I'll buy them for $50, $100 and they'll be worth like even more. Sometimes I go to a vintage store or a thrift store and they'll be $3 and I look online and they'll like be $200.
Local vintage business owners are passionate about what they do and take pride in getting to provide vintage clothing to the community.
Being able to see people happy and liking what we styled them in, it's fun. It's fun because we get to show them actual true vintage versus what you see in a magazine or you see in Google.
The demand for vintage continues to grow in our society today and doesn't appear to be going anywhere anytime soon.